Quilombos, history, resistance, and legacy. In Brazil and the Americas, Quilombos were communities formed mainly by Africans and Afro-descendants who escaped slavery in Brazil between the 16th and 19th centuries. More than refugees, they were organized territories of freedom with social structure, economic production, military defense, and their own cultural life. They represent one of the strongest expressions of resistance to slavery in the Americas. Origin of the term. The word Quilombo comes from the African term Quilombo, from Bantu languages in the region of Angola, referring to warrior camps or settlements. In colonial Brazil, the term came to describe communities formed by people who had escaped slavery. In other parts of the Americas, similar communities had different names: Cimarrones, Caribbean and Spanish America; Maroons, English-speaking; Caribbean islands; Palenques, Colombia and Panama. Although the names varied, the goal was the same: freedom and autonomy. How Quilombos were formed. Quilombos were usually established in hard-to-reach areas: mountains, dense forests, swamps, and remote interior regions. Their strategic location made colonial attacks more difficult. They could arise in different ways: small groups of newly escaped individuals joining together, communities that gradually expanded over time, organized settlements supported by indigenous allies. They were not composed only of escaped Africans. They could also include indigenous people, poor whites, military deserters, others marginalized by colonial society. This made many Quilombos plural and multicultural communities. The largest Quilombo in Brazil, Quilombo dos Palmares, located in what is now the state of Alagoas. Palmares existed approximately between 1597 and 1694. It gathered thousands of inhabitants and had organized agriculture, cassava, corn, beans, trade with nearby settlements, its own political structure, a military defense system. Among its leaders were Gunga Zumba Zumbi das Palmares. After successive military expeditions organized by the Portuguese colonial government, Palmares was destroyed in 1694. Zumbi was killed in 1695. Today, November 20th, the date of his death, is observed in Brazil as Black Awareness Day. Internal organization of Quilombos were not improvised spaces. Many had economy, subsistence, agriculture, animal husbandry, trade with nearby villages, craft production, defense, constant surveillance, strategic knowledge of the terrain, armed resistance when necessary, culture and spirituality, preservation of African-based religions, music, dance, and oral traditions, transmission of ancestral knowledge. These elements strengthened collective identity and cultural resilience. Quilombos beyond Brazil. Similar resistance movements occurred throughout the Americas. San Basilio de Palenque, Colombia, founded by escaped Africans and still existing today. Maroon communities in Jamaica and Suriname, some of which negotiated treaties with colonial powers. These examples demonstrate that black resistance to slavery was a continental phenomenon. After abolition, even after the abolition of slavery in Brazil in 1888, many communities descended from Quilombos remained on their lands. The Brazilian Constitution of 1988 officially recognized the territorial rights of Quilombola communities, granting legal protection to lands traditionally occupied by them. Today, thousands of Quilombola communities exist across Brazil, preserving traditions, knowledge, and cultural identity. Historical significance. Quilombos challenge the narrative that enslaved people were merely passive victims of the slave system. They reveal political organization, military strategy, collective resistance, the construction of alternative societies. They are symbols of struggle, dignity, and autonomy. More than chapters of the past, Quilombos remain alive in Brazilian culture, in music, cuisine, religion, and ongoing struggles for social justice.